And in this video, we're going to begin our multiple time frame analysis breakdown. So we're going to be doing a different video for every single time frame. And in each of these videos, we're going to be explaining what you should be doing on each time frame, what you should be looking for, and how you should be using that time frame to add to your overall clarity of what's going on in the market and start to find your trade setups. So we hope that this series will be extremely helpful for you guys moving forward. And we're going to go ahead and start off right here on USD CAD on the monthly time frame. So a couple of important things about the monthly time frame. I'm going to go ahead and write it out here. So the first thing, let's see, monthly time frame. So the first thing that you need to understand about the monthly is that you only want the most relevant levels. So when I say you only want the most relevant levels, what I mean is, you know, you guys have an array of analysis tools available to you at this point. You guys can clearly see that down here, this is a support, right? You have price coming all the way down, 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 boom, bust up, comes back down, boom, bust up. This is clearly a very important support for the market. But you have to understand that each of these candlesticks represents a month's worth of price movement. So last time price was even here was back in 2011, okay? And by the time price could come back down here, I mean, you're talking like years down the road. So this is not relevant for any of your trading in the near future. Okay, so again, we can apply that same principle to these levels down here, this level right here, right? These are not important levels for what we're currently going to be trading. Now, let's talk about what is relevant in terms of analysis. So you guys can see that we have some sort of level right in this area. Now, this level is right here, okay? Price was coming up, 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 boom, 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 keeps getting rejected from this level. I want you guys to mark your monthly levels as lines and not zones. I'll explain why later. But we have a lot of rejection from this area. We come back up. You guys can see precision bounces right here. So that tells you that the important level is here. We bust through. Again, we retest precision right here. Come back down. These two candlesticks right here, for those of you who have gone through monthly material on price action, you understand that's one giant rejection on a higher time frame, which is not a higher time frame, but ultimately it means rejection. And this is essentially one giant wick. And we know, looking at previous data, that it's getting rejected from this level here and not, for instance, not this level down here. Okay, so that's not the correct level. So this is the important relevant level. You guys can see this is right next to where we currently are. So it's important for us looking to trade it. Now, other important things to mark. So I'm going to take a trend line here and I'm going to bring us up. I'm going to make this black here. Now this is also relevant because you guys can see that we are closing up on this ascending trend line here, which means we're likely to see some interactions here pretty soon. We want a couple more things here to get a little bit more clarity on the monthly. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out here and look back on some previous data. So it looks like we were coming down. We got a decent bounce from here. And as we already know, that is this level, which we have already identified. So that's just more confluence for this level here. We came down, we bounced, busted through, retested, came back to retest again. Looks like we got some interactions here, and it looks like we interacted here. So our next level of importance will be right in this area, and we're going to see if we can't refine this area a little bit. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. Okay, yeah, so I'm happy with exactly how it's marked right here. So this is our next important level. I hope you guys understand how I did that. I was looking at price action here. It bounced, busted through, retested, pinpoint, came back, retested, pinpoint. These rejections that were going on up here, we also saw rejection down here. So that just gives me more confidence that something was going on in here that was rejecting it back up, and that's this. We come back over here, strong candle breakthrough, again, precision retest. So I am assuming that that is going to give us issues as we come down. And then finally, I'd like one more level up here to the upside. So I'm going to come back and I'm going to look at some data, and it looks like our next important level is going to be right here in this area. Okay, so we saw that price broke through, came back, closed both times right here at this level, and then we got a precision retest. Come up here, price precision bounce, comes all the way up, closes back underneath, another body close underneath. This seems to be the next level. And so here we are, we're on the monthly time frame, and we have only relevant levels. So we're not going to mark any other levels. We're not going to do any other analysis except for what's right in this area. And this is pretty much all we need from the monthly. So this is enough information on the monthly to give me overall clarity of where we are in the market. I've got the zone that's current for where price is at. I've got the zone above it. I've got the zone below it. And I've got a trend line, which we will be interacting with soon, marked. Now, again, if this trend line was down here, so say, for instance, I was looking at the lowest possible trend line, which would be something like this, I would not have this marked. This is not relevant. Why? Because this is years away. Okay, so again, we want to keep things relevant, and we're going to just slowly build on this as we go down. Okay, so the next thing on the monthly that is important to understand is that you want to get this overall picture of where you are in the market. So get an overall understanding of where you are in your market. Okay, go ahead and move this over here. Okay, so what I mean by overall view is kind of what we just did. So I want you guys to zoom out when you're on the monthly and look at the history of your pair. Okay, and there's a couple reasons for this. The first thing is you really want to know if your pair is in a zone that it's never been in before. So maybe USD CAD is in new highs, or it's in new lows, or it's at a major low which has held the market ever since it existed, right? These are important things to know to add into your overall bias in the market. So as you guys can see, as far as we can go back, we're kind of sitting right here towards the equilibrium of the entire market. So that's just good to kind of understand where you are in the market, and we're sitting just under the equilibrium point. So that just gives you some clarity as to we could be seeing a nice downside move. But either way, whether we were to see a break and retest and continuation down, or we were to fly back up, you know that we definitely have a trend coming, because price will always flow away from equilibrium once it's reached. So we will see a fly down or a fly up from this area. So you guys can expect a nice trendy move coming. And we're sitting right here in the middle of all the action. So it just gives you kind of an idea of where you are in the market. And it's kind of nice to know also, if you're going to be trading a pair professionally, you need to understand the overall view of the market that you're trading anyways, in terms of its history and where you're currently at in the market. Again, just to kind of make it simpler for you, I'd suggest marking your next major resistance, your next major support, and your current level. And if you have a relevant trend line, I would go ahead and mark it too. And that's really honestly all I would mark. And the final thing about the monthly time frame that's going to be important, it's the third and final thing, is I want you guys to ask yourself where price is heading right now. So what I mean by that, guys, is our purpose of analyzing the monthly time frame is not so that we can sail down to the next monthly level. The purpose of analyzing the monthly time frame is so that we can zoom in and really get some clarity on where price is going to be going short term and find a really nice trade. You guys have to understand, right? If we can identify that price right here on the monthly time frame should be coming down to test this level, even this path down to this level is a good 170, 150 or so pips. So those are the trades that we're looking for, and then we're not going to be surprised when we see price bounce here and head up to this level and find resistance. So these are the kind of things we're looking to do, these short-term moves. That's what we're looking for on the monthly. So you guys know basic principle, price does nothing but move between different types of support and resistance, which are created by supply and demand. And so a very logical path here is for price to head, boom, right here to our trend line. And then from there, we will either see a bounce up to this resistance, or if we do see a break, we will see a break, a retest, and a continuation down to our next level. Those are ultimately the only two paths that we could see here on the monthly, but ultimately they both begin with price heading down to this ascending trend line. So that's literally all I mean when I say ask yourself where price is heading right now, the next support, the next resistance, and right now our next support is, since we're heading down, is this ascending trend line. So that's what you need to have marked. And thus we have completed everything we need from this monthly time frame. We have our relevant levels marked, only the ones that are close that we could be interacting with soon. We have our overall understanding of where we are in the market. We're sitting here kind of at equilibrium in the overall market. And we know that price should be heading to this next support area here. And we have our monthly bias. So that's all you guys need to be doing on the monthly. Obviously, it should not take you this long. Just with a little bit of practice, you're going to be able to do this within like a few minutes. You'll have this marked up and ready to go down to the lower time frame. But I really wanted to take the time and explain in detail what I'm looking for on this time frame so that you guys have that clarity, because I know that when you're first starting off, multiple time frame analysis can be challenging and a little bit subjective. So